Okay, so I was just thinking one day, as I usually do when I feel like existing. You know how there's a league for trivial things like darts and bowling and maybe in some cases cornhole? I looked it up, that's a real thing. What's another game people play when they're shit-faced and trying to forget about the pains of everyday life? Well, at least in the cases of college kids, they throw paper into a trash can, or as they like to say, paper toss. Why can't this be a sport we watch on TV? According to most people, darts and bowling are wastes of time, which if you think that, you've clearly never watched the sports before, but paper toss is just as useless, so I'm going to do the world a favor and make universal paper toss rules and regulations. This is an actual thing that I did, and I'm taking it damn seriously. How serious? I emailed a sports league representative in my area about it and enclosed the full rulebook. Here's the full document that I wrote as proof that I was very serious in its inception. And now I will read each line so that I have on record how detailed I was in making this a reality. Professional Sports League for Paper Toss. The full name is the Professional Paper Toss Association, or the acronym is just the PPTA. The actual rules are, you must throw a piece of paper into a canister to score points. You know, general basic how to play the game. Paper must be 8 by 11 college ruled notebook paper and must be crumpled by the player into a ball not exceeding 5 inches in diameter. The canister of point value must be 2 feet tall and have a circumference of 12 inches. Player must stand to score 3 points 5 feet away. Player must stand to score 6 points 10 feet away. Player must stand to score 9 points 15 feet away. A round is won when a player reaches a score of 30. There's no minimum time limit to complete a round. A player can throw as many balls as he needs to reach the desired score of 30. I wrote when twice. A game is won when one player wins a best of 7 series, or first of 4, like the World Series. Scoring will be kept up to date by the onstage official and will be updated after every throw. If the player wishes, he may be read aloud his score before each throw. Players must throw the paper in any way they deem appropriate to score points, which encourages professionalism and the proper way to throw a piece. Other players may not shout vulgarity or profanity during the throwing of another player's paper. It is distracting and is inappropriate. Doing so will result in either a loss of points or the suspension of a player depending on the seriousness of the situation called on by the head official. If a throw is contested, review officials will look at the tape of the throw in slow motion, and if no conclusion can be made, the call on stage will be enforced, no arguments made. If the player wishes to contest the scoring or another player, he must let the onstage official know and he will radio the head official. If paper is obviously damaged in any way after a throw, the player who threw the paper will have 1 minute to get a new piece of paper. Branding does not apply. Players can only make visual changes to the paper if it creates no advantage to said player. Brand logos, nameplates, nicknames, etc. Player may not bounce or ricochet the paper off of any surface to gain any advantage unless it's the scoring canister itself. Paper may bounce as many times as it needs to on the scoring canister as long as it eventually falls into the canister scoring points or falls off the scoring canister resulting in no points. Players get 1 paper to use per round and must choose the throwing distance before stepping onto the throwing platform. This must be stated to the onstage official or else the score will not be counted. Amount of times to throw is not measured as before. Foul line will be presented to keep the players at the same distance while throwing. The crossing of said foul line, which means any extremities touching or crossing said line, this includes legs, knees, feet, and toes. This does not include arms, torso, neck, and head. The player will be deducted the point value attempted by the player. Also, I should say that you can throw at any distance at any time. It's just each individual throw needs to be stated to the onstage official before you throw it. I'm not around. If I'm going full professional with this though, I need a marketing strategy. A lot of sports pride themselves on class or being nice to others, but I think I'm going to take the class thing to the extreme because we need to balance the drunk college reputation that this sport already has. So we're going full fancy, tuxes or black ties only, and only very classy sponsors such as college ruled paper, none of that wide ruled bullshit, and other non-related sponsors like maybe Glad or Trident bubblegum. The use of cigars and very fine booze is permitted as long as you don't abuse them to the point of intoxication, obviously, because then you can't play the game. Black leather couches will be provided for the player in between throws, and lint rollers will be passed out to each of the players during their matches to keep the nice clean feel of the new image of the sport, trying to maintain the professional attitude. I like it. I think the commercials should be similar to those Matthew McConaughey Lincoln commercials in terms of tone though. I watched Spark Flop long before they paid me. I didn't do it to be cool, I just liked it. I don't know, this mainly just came out of my frustration of people not accepting certain sports as real sports. I would love to one day be down in a person's basement and they're all hammered and they go, oh, I bet I can get this paper in the trash can better than you. And I'm all, oh, yeah, okay, you want to wager? And they're all, yeah, sure, man. He bets like his Xbox or something, and then I school his ass, and he's all, whoa, man, you're really good at this. And I'm like, yeah, man, I was a professional on the PPTA for 12 years. And he's all, I could do that. I almost beat you. And I'd be all like, you don't even know. One day. Oh, no, wait.
Hello, this is Ian Fedorov of the PPTA with somber news. We regret to inform you that the 2020 season has been postponed due to obvious circumstance. We run into problems with sanitation with our scoring canisters. As a showing of appreciation to my employees, here's the majority New York owner, Rodney Thompson, with an explanation.
We just don't know what kind of germs are in these bowls.
Again, we at the PPTA must take the steps necessary to keep our players and staff safe. One man even walked up and asked me and said, hey, Ian.
What's in the bowl, bitch? Oh!
But we just don't know yet. We will keep the press updated for any further breakthroughs. Please, if you're interested in joining, please see the rule book and get in contact with me. We can work out your whole career together. I mean, you really should think about joining if you're any good at the paper toss, you know? This is Ian Fedorov signing off.
Bum, bum, bum.
In the arms of the angel, fly away from here, from this cold, dark hotel room, and the endlessness that you fear. You are pulled from the wreckage of your silent reverie. You're in the arms of the angel. May you find some comfort here. What am I doing?